intro complete. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody back to my 32 fan series, 32 different NFL teams. This is the Patriots episode. But first of all, I need to say this is recording in early May. So if anything happens in training camp, June 1st designation, all the extra things, we're not going to talk about it. So just throwing that out. The other thing is I am so excited to talk to you because we became fast Twitter buddies during game days. So you have dealt with my Colorado anxiety of like, what is this? Why is this? And the evolution of me being like, oh, this is just what it is.
Yep.
And, you've seen people come for me and you've seen me like, all the things. So it's like, I was excited and then I asked like who you're a fan of. And so now we're doing this and we are talking about the Patriots. We're going to leave that college football where it's at. We'll deal with that when it comes up. But we are talking all things Patriots. So I would love for you to introduce yourself so everybody knows, similar to all my other episodes. He already knows the questions. Just because I look up in the air doesn't mean he doesn't know. I'm not making this stuff up. He knows the questions. I'm just remembering the questions. So anyways, I will be quiet. Introduce yourself and let us know whatever you want to tell us.
I am Finch. I believe life is a Finch. Not like life is about me, but life is one of those things where you just go through it. You experience all types of things, all facets of life, and you just live. And so people call me their imaginary best friend. I'm the guy who's going to tell you all the things you need to hear, but don't hear. And all the lies you tell about yourself, I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm that type of friend. Don't put me on speakerphone when you call me.
Yeah. My thing is people will call and I'll be like, well, who's around? Oh, okay. So let me tell you then.
You need to know because I'm going to say some inappropriate stuff at some point during our conversation.
Yeah. Same. I'm the same. So what makes you a Patriots fan? I'll be honest with you. There's not a lot of Black Patriot fans that are still in existence. Okay. So I'll just call it out, that I think I always doing this series, I have learned that there's pockets of fans. And there's certain, whenever a team is hot, I can find those fans immediately. Yep. Whenever a team is not hot, it takes me a little bit more effort to find those fans. So I would love to know how long you've been a Patriots fan. What made you a Patriots fan? What is wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. What makes you a Patriots fan?
That's actually a legitimate question. What's wrong with me? And we're going to get into that in my hot take later on.
Okay.
About what's wrong with me and what's wrong with my my view of the New England Patriots. But I became, it's so funny. Here's the story. I became how I became a Patriots fan. It's not like most people. Okay. So back in 2002, I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, visiting my family in Atlanta. Me and my cousins, we all got together. And the first thing we loved to do on the big TV was play Madden. And I got this team that had red and white and blue colors on it. And they had a fire offense on the game. It was like spread 5-6 wide receivers. And I can throw over the middle. Same play worked every time I scored. And I said, well, whoa, this is a great team on the game. And so then I took notice. That was 2002. So we're talking about 2 years after Tom Brady. Yeah. So I then became a Tom Brady fan because he had a great story, underdog. Fair. And that in lieu kind of relayed me into becoming a New England Patriots fan at that particular time. So I've been a Patriots fan since 2002.
I love that. And so when you became a Patriots fan, was there a lot of you? Like, was there a lot of people that you knew that liked the team? Or
a lot of people?
Yeah. Because I still can't listen. I've been to a couple of Patriots games, and there's not a lot of Black people even in the Coliseum. Okay, there's not even a lot in the stadium. Okay, right. So even the music they play there is kind of, but that's not disrespect to white people. Shout out to y'all. I'm just saying the music that is played there. I remember being like, can I hear I think I said to my girlfriend, I was like, can I hear like a whoop? There it is. Like, that's my bare minimum at this point. Like, just give me something basic. But was there a lot of people that you knew were Patriots fans?
No. And the crazy part, I was the only one in my family that was claiming to be a fan. And I have to say, initially, I wasn't saying I was a fan. I was an distant admirer of a team that looked really good on Madden football.
Okay.
And once I start watching the games, we all know initially the Patriots are not powerhouse team, but then they start winning. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a great team. And I liked some of their uniforms at that time, but
Okay.
I wouldn't consider myself a fan in the beginning.
I think that's fair. So let's challenge that fandom a little bit here. Let's talk about last season.
Okay.
How did you feel last season went, just like overall? And then what song would you use to describe your season? By the way, no one knows my order of recording. This is my absolute favorite question.
Mm-hmm.
By far. Like there's another one that I like, but this one is my favorite because I get to really understand what you think of your team.
And you're talking about you're talking about the question about the team, not the question about the song.
Yeah, no, I want to know how you felt like last year's performance was, and then what song would you choose to signify your team last year?
Okay, so 2024 season. It wasn't just rough. It was revealing. A 4-13 record. Come on, guys. Let's talk about that. We're talking about a team that's accustomed to winning championships.
Yeah.
Went 4-13, compiled a 4-13 record. And I have to say that doesn't happen by accident. I think it was a reflection of the years of roster mismanagement.
That's fair.
Outdated offensive philosophy. You think that's fair too?
Yeah, and I'm a Steelers fan, so same.
Yeah.
Anyways, this isn't about me. Go ahead.
And the absence of a true post-Brady identity. I believe that Drake Maye showed promise, but he was clearly thrown into what I would call the fire before the team was ready to support him. And
yeah, that's fair.
I think the offensive line was patchwork at best, and the wide receiver room. I'm going to look away right now because I don't want.
And then the funny thing is, has it ever been good? The wide receiver room. It's just you've been able to cover it up.
Yeah. Well. Again, when you have a great quarterback, and a great offensive line, and you have receivers that may not be quote unquote explosive or quote unquote superstars, but because we did have Randy Moss. We did have Randy Moss, but I think the receiver room it lacked a true game changer, and
that's fair.
I think those things played a vital role in how the Patriots showed up. And then on defense, early signs of grit. We talking about guys like Christian Barmore and Jabril Peppers. They kept the post beating a little bit,
Yeah.
But I think as the losses piled up, you can just feel the air in the locker room just go out. And so it wasn't just about losing the games. It was the lack of what I call cohesion, direction, and confidence in a team that has a tradition of winning. Why are you laughing?
Because there's like bad, right? Where you're like, that was just bad. But we had injuries. We had, you know what I mean? And you can kind of feel, but then there's like bad where you're like, no, that just wasn't it. It wasn't it. No, and no. No special teams, no defense. Like when I was watching playoff games, I was like, oh, now I know what the Steelers need. A new defense, a new offense, I was like, now I see it. So yeah.
No, kind of look like Colorado out there. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong show. Yeah, wrong
Who looks like Colorado out there?
Patriots look like Colorado. You said no special teams, no line, no running game, nothing.
Very similar. Very similar. Very freaking similar. Very similar.
So I looked at it this wasn't a team that needed just to clean up a few things. I've often heard you say that in your videos about a team, just clean. No, this team doesn't need to just clean up a few things, i.e. A team we won't name. But exactly. I believe it needed a strip down to be a re-imaging team, So
rebuilding. Yeah,
rebuilding, and I think ownership finally acknowledged by their previous moving on from Bill Belichick, that it was time for a new regime. And I think with last season, it exposed the gap between what I would consider to be tradition and modern football. And now the rebuild is no longer optional. It's mandatory.
You got to do it.
So,
yeah.
You got to do it. Yeah.
So
that's
what
what I
song
think
would
about.
you pick?
That's what I think about last season.
Okay. What song would you pick?
Okay. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen,
No.
Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Okay.
I cannot wait for this.
Let me preference this by saying this is not. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna jump into it.
Okay.
In the End by Linkin Park. Have you heard that song?
The one that's like in the end, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. Think about the chorus, because it hits a little difference when you're a Patriots fan, and you've experienced this as a Steelers fan. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end,
it just doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is kind of the same in a way. Yeah. So I got you. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
I think that was the theme for the entire year for the Patriots. It was a season, I think, full of effort, tweaks, desperation at times, but nothing ever gelled. And the result, a 4-13 finish, a 4th round overall pick.
There you go.
That says it all. But
so I was going to go with that. Say your butt, and then I'll get into the offseason.
But 2025 is shifting. Soundtrack is Started from the Bottom by Drake.
I know that's right.
Because now we have a foundation. We got a quarterback. We've got Mike Vrabel instilling accountability, and we've got a front office that I think finally seems to align with on building for the long haul.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think they did in the offseason. Probably just Mike Vrabel itself, but what did they do in the offseason where you were like, okay, we're kind of shifting. We're getting back to the basics. We're going to, build that O-line. We're going to, like, when did you start to be like, okay, all right, we're moving. We're moving here.
Well, I have mixed feelings about the hiring of Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that. But I say I'm cautiously optimistic about this season because we didn't really throw. Well, let me not say we, because I'm not on the staff. Let me say they. The Patriots didn't throw. They didn't go out and throw money at big names. Of course they got what's Diggs, but we're not talking about Minnesota Diggs.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good sign, and I think it means they have a real plan. And the offseason shows, especially with the draft, we had 11. I think we got 11 solid picks. That's what I think. We got 11.
I like that.
And it didn't seem like they was trying to put a desperate Band-Aid with the moves they made. I feel like they were strategic signings, strategic draft picks. And they chose based upon what the team needed to move forward, but to also solidify something, because I think foundation is vitally important. You got to think, like, when you don't have a team that's built on a solid foundation that has a solid identity, you get a 4-13 season.
Yeah. And I think too, you all had a draft. Like I almost predicted. Well, I did predict your first round draft pick. But I feel like you had a draft that I was like, right, very Patriots. Like, and that's a compliment, right? It just means it makes sense. That's it. It just means every pick you're like, yeah, okay, I saw, okay, yeah, that would help. Yeah, well, yeah, that too, So, and I like that. Did you have a favorite draft pick and then a least favorite draft pick?
Okay, so my favorite draft pick was the person that you predicted, Will Campbell. He was the favorite. Offensive tackle. I mean, again, I go back to what I just said a moment ago. Foundation wise, I mean, that's a solid foundation to start with, a solid brick or pillar to start with building it, because I think he's like he's a plug and play kind of tackle. So he got elite footwork and toughness. So those are things you need on. I'm gonna go back, rewind the tape. Those were things you needed in a dismal 2024 season that helps you move forward in the upcoming season. So
I agree.
He was my one of my favorite picks. Eyebrow raise.
Nice.
Julian Ashby. Long snapper.
Say his name like that.
Okay.
Julian Ashby.
Well, 7th round, right? We're talking about special teams. They're important. We know this because you just talked about that, and we've seen teams with no special teams and,
With no
and how
special
that
teams.
worked out for them.
The special teams were not special at all.
At all.
Period.
I just think using a draft pick on a long snapper is not only unconventional, especially when, let me just say it like this, especially when there are undrafted options available. Okay?
That's true. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
Because I think it suggests that the team sees something exceptional in him, you know, and come on. Come on.
Because honestly, even if it is exceptional,
right,
does it help you win football games? Like, is that like, can you go get another one off the streets? Like, is that really moving the needle?
Yeah, I mean, now if you telling me he was the best choice you could have made with that pick, not best, he was the only choice you could have made at that pick, then I could say, all right, I see that, but nah, I don't see that.
So it sounds like 2024, you move into the offseason, new coach, hopefully looks like new philosophy, looks like they're even doing things in free agency that I was actually shocked that they were doing. Have the draft. I thought they did very well in the draft. Now, what are your expectations? Do you think you all are still building? Do you think you're molding? Do you think you're contenders? Do you think, like, what do you think? Where do you see your team? Like, what do you think this team is doing right now?
You're asking all the tough questions, Oprah. I'm going to say this. I think it's going to be another tough year, but I expect progress. And I say that because not necessarily in the win column per se, but because I'm looking at probably 6, maybe 7 wins. That could be a solid year, but I'm looking at a win as far as team play, like how well are they going to do as a unit? Because again, when you think about all of the Super Bowl winning Patriot teams, you got to look at the team as a whole. I mean, you got to think about it. They came throughout that process the Patriot way. That was about team, do your job. That was about team. It's like everybody playing their role and playing their part to make sure that we are successful. So, if Maye gets, I got to think about these things because my mouth sometimes it just goes. But I think if Maye gets real experience and the coaching staff truly builds a coherent identity, not just copycatting, but a coherent identity. I think that's a step forward. And I want to see competitive games. I hear you say this a lot. I want to see competitive games. I want to see creative offense, and I want to see discipline.
That's it. Like, is it that hard? Am I asking? Like, everyone's like, your expectations are so hard. They can't do anything right. I'm like,
yeah,
this is foundational.
Yeah. But you know why? I'm gonna tell you why I see it like that. Because I look at, we're not talking about kids. We're talking about grown men who are getting paid millions of dollars.
That's true.
Do your job.
That's true.
Discipline. You should know this by now. The creative offense, that's on the coaches, but discipline is on you. And I expect you to go out there as a professional, play hard every game. Don't play like you're a multi-millionaire. Like, if that's the case, let's revisit all the salaries. Because I want competitive football. I don't want you to go out there and just be satisfied with winning 20-17.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm just looking around, I'm like, excuse my language, how the fuck do you keep false starting? How? Honestly.
Undisciplined.
Like, I honestly want to ask, like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be anything. I honestly want you to tell me what you think when you were lined up and you get in your stance. What are you actually thinking?
Yeah.
So anyways, I got a little triggered.
That's all.
So who do you think is the most underrated group? Like who do you or person, player on your team? Like who do you think it just gets overlooked because the team just wasn't that great, or that maybe you think somebody came in is being underlooked as somebody that is a really good ad for the team?
Okay, that's a great question. Glad you asked. The defensive line. I think the defensive line is shaping up to kind of be promising, a promising unit this season, especially with the additions of two intriguing rookies. I'm talking about Joshua Farmer and Braden Swinson.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about Farmer, selected 4th round, 6'3", 305, defensive tackle, Florida State. I wanted to go there at some point in my life. But he was a team captain, earned all ACC honors, honorable mention honors, rather. And I would say when you look at 11 sacks, 15 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, that is, because not just tackling somebody, but tackling them behind the line. That's a good addition to what we need, because a lot of those games last season, we lost because of a lack of defensive effort. And more so, I think, defensive skill sets. We just wasn't skilled in key positions to win close ball games or to win most ball games, hence 13 of them that we lost. So you know, when I look at him, and then I look at Swinson, how you pronounce? I don't know how it's been 5th round pick.
It's close enough. Yeah. He needs to make you remember it at this point. That sounded bad, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I think he brings versatility. He brings a pass rushing prowess to the edge, and he's 6'4", 255. Come on now, he's NFL ready in a sense, but he led LSU with 8.5 sacks and 13 tackles. So
come through research. I know that's right.
You better know what you're talking about. I don't like to be uninformed when I speak. I like to be informed. And if I forget something, I got my notes sitting in front of me. I can just pull them up on my paper over here. But I think when you're talking about how the expectation is and the people we're looking to improve the overall scope of the team, I think those additions, the Patriots defensive line, they could become a strength of the strength of the team. Yeah. So you know,
I see that,
and I think it with adding those useful energetic pieces, it provides depth, and that's something you need in a long football season.
Oh, competitive depth. Okay.
I think I heard somebody say that looks similar to you in a video I just watched 2 days ago.
What a comment! What a stance! So what is a hot take that you might have about the Patriots that other Patriots fans might not have, or once you say it, they're gonna be like, "Who is this guy anyway? Is he even a Patriots fan?"
It's exactly what they're gonna say. Oh my goodness! I want to preface this reply. Another great question, Miss Oprah. I want to preference my reply by saying I have thought about this a long time, and when I saw this was one of the questions you was going to ask, I said, "Oh, this is a great opportunity for me to give a hot take that most Patriots fans are not going to like." So I expect to see a lot of. I think
it's about the coach, isn't it?
Okay, here we go. You sound like you're ready. Let me clear my throat and get my politician.
Okay. I'll stay focused.
The Patriots have a long-standing issue, I believe, with underutilizing black quarterbacks and coaches, and it's time we confront this pattern. Cam Newton was brought in during a transitional period. Come on. And he was expected to perform without adequate support. Or, come in a little closer, little people, or a tailored offensive scheme. Jacoby Brissett, the first black quarterback the Patriots allowed to start. Now, the Patriots only had 8 black quarterbacks in 65 years of their existence. one black head coach and no executives in the GM in the front office. Bring it down, Finch.
Really?
No.
Do they have any women?
Now that I'm not sure of.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Well, you know what? Yes, they have some women, but they are all white women in a sense. So think about this. Gerard Mayo, a respected figure within the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Former player like the current coach, right? He's appointed head coach, but he wasn't afforded the necessary time or resources to implement his vision. He running out the vision of the one who had preceded him for over 2 decades.
Right. Very true. Very true.
So I want y'all to think about this, ladies and gentlemen, before you come for me, because I don't care. I don't care if I sent for you or not. Come on. But he wasn't given time or resources to implement how he saw the program moving forward from the Belichick regime. And then he's replaced by Mike Vrabel. Now,
which is a Belichick regime.
Right. But here's the thing, right? We're talking about after a season. How long have you seen white coaches lose in the NFL and are giving time and resources?
Yeah, no. One of the first things I said when I made my YouTube channel, and I was doing shorts at the time, just shorts, because I wasn't confident enough to make long form content, honestly. That's why I was doing shorts.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, I just wasn't. I was like, I don't know if this is really going to work. If anybody wants to hear this, but I'm just going to put this out, little 15, little clip. And I said, they hired Mayo so they can figure out who they actually want as their coach.
Yep.
That's what I thought from jump. Yep. So, and you know me, like I'm in these football streets, like I'm paying attention, and they proved me right in the worst way, because you're not wrong. I didn't realize that they didn't have any black people in their like executive, because now I'm like, he honestly then really didn't stand a chance
at all.
Yeah.
But let me show you something even further. So they traded Joe Milton III to Dallas after just one season.
Right, they did.
That exemplifies
so bad. Yeah.
The lack of investment in developing black quarterbacks. Milton had raw talent, physical attributes.
He looked good.
He deserved a structured development plan. He deserved
I agree.
Which he didn't receive in New England. So the absence of black offensive coordinators or general managers in the team's history further underscores the issue. So in a league think about the NFL over the years of its existence, they pride themselves at this stage in life on being diverse.
Oh yes, they're so diverse. They care.
Right. That's what they say now.
Yeah.
The Patriots leadership should reflect the players on the field. Now, they don't mind getting black players in a bunch of other positions, but why not the leadership role? I'm telling you, as a fan, I said for years, why the Patriots always got white quarterbacks? And again, once I did a little research, and I said, they've only had 8 in 65 years, and the only 2 that ever started and got any real playing time, Brissett and Cam Newton. That's it. I think that says a lot about an organization, and I think we have to really take a look at that, because that's one of the things nobody's questioning.
Yeah.
Even though it's been 65 years. Come on.
Yeah, but like Robert Kraft hangs out with black people. Oh, does that not?
So you gonna hit me with that? Oh, I got some black friends. Oh, okay.
Does that not translate? Like, yeah, no.
Okay.
I think that's interesting. That's why that's a different conversation for a different episode. But that's so okay. So then this fits in perfectly then with my next question. If you were GM for a day, what would be the first thing you would do? Like, what would be your first move?
I think my primary focus would be on creating an environment that's conducive to and again, I don't want people to think because I mentioned about them not developing black quarterbacks that I'm against white quarterbacks. I'm not. I think
if people sorry, hold on. if you're listening to this episode and your takeaway from what you just heard was that we don't like white quarterbacks, you are ignorant and that is unacceptable. Do better.
Yep.
Respectfully, do better. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I would focus on creating an environment that's conducive to Drake Maye's development because I think that's important.
That's a good one.
Drake Maye, I liked him in college. You know, he didn't really wow me, but I was like, oh, he's solid, he's decent. But I think he possessed the physical tools and the mental acuity to be a franchise quarterback. I think he could be. Patriots fans, hold on. I think he could probably be better than Tom Brady at some point. That's what I think. And I think with Josh McDaniels, you know.
Is Josh McDaniels back?
Unfortunately.
So the Patriots really just said, okay, reverse. Okay, reverse it. Reverse it. Okay, scramble it. And then that's our coaching staff.
I want you to think about it like this. McDaniels has a history of success, right? That's why he was able to parlay that into some other opportunities.
That never work out.
Say it again for the people in the back. That never work out. But I think, and this is why I said earlier about having an explosive offense. I think the Patriots need new blood in the offense because for years you haven't really seen the pace of the Patriots offense be explosive.
Yeah, or dynamic. Or anything.
Yeah, and with the offensive coordinators they've had, I just think it's more siding on the line of traditionalism. Oh, this is what I think the quickest way that a nation of people die is they hang their hats on. It's the way we've always done it.
Oh my gosh. I'm
triggered. I think his traditional approach, it may not align with the modern dynamic offense that suits Maye. And if I was a GM, that's the number one thing I would tackle and fix. Because if we're saying, and again, let me not say we because I'm not on payroll. If they are saying Drake Maye is our guy, and it's apparent because they picked him, and he fits the mold of the types of quarterbacks they have preferred. If they saying he's our guy, then you cannot hang him out to dry like the Panthers did they rookie quarterback last season. Y'all want to talk about that? Okay, yeah. But you can't do that. So you have to give him an offense that suits his skill sets, and you have to allow him to develop and grow in that offense that's built for him and his skill sets, not somebody's traditional ways of how they do things, and they want you to fit into their. That's one of the things I liked about. That's off subject. That's one of the things I did like that I heard about the defensive coordinator at Colorado was he didn't come in with that mentality. So I think the same thing applies for the Patriots in this day and age. If they want to be a part of the story going forward and not, you know what, they used to be a great team,
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And that's true. Okay. So we're at my favorite overtime. So I did 4 questions for overtime, because like you have to go for it. You have 4 downs to get the touchdown. That's kind of what I was thinking. It was a great idea when I thought about it. I'm so cheesy in a lot of ways. And now that I say that out loud, it sounded even more cheesy. So just go with me here. So this is supposed to be like a rapid fire, but if we need to pause down, we totally will, because I know there's going to be a question in this, like I mentioned before, that's going to bog us down, which is totally fine. So here we are. Which division rival do you love to hate the most and why?
Buffalo, because they're good now and their fans have gotten loud. And I get it. I get it. After 20 years of dismal football, you love it. I get it. However, they're just one of those teams where you like, all right, guys, pipe down a little bit. Y'all winning now, but there's a host of other things that go into y'all continue that process, and you don't want to be the Buffalo where you keep getting to the big dance, but you keep losing to the star quarterback who comes in and take your girl. So chill out, Buffalo. Buffalo.
All right, okay. If you could change one thing about your franchise, ownership, stadium, uniforms, anything, what would it be?
Offensive mindset. I think we've been stuck in the defense and efficiency phase for a long time. Like I just said a moment ago, explosiveness. I want them to be explosive. I want them to be one of those offense. You be like, man, just like how I came to know the New England Patriots on Madden. I want that type of offense
You want that back.
Spread, okay. It's fun, it's invigorating, and you be like, man, you have no idea what you're gonna see the Patriots do on offense, but they're doing it, and they're doing it at a high level, and they are thriving in it. That's what I want to see.
I like it. Okay. So here's the one that usually gets people. So if you could swap a player from a team from your rival, who would it be and why? Now, the issue that's happening that I've realized is a lot of people just decide to go pick a player. So if you want to do one inside your rival and then an additional player, you can. But I've realized this is the question that kind of everybody kind of takes it and does with it what they will. So if you want to pick a rival player, that's totally fine. But if you want to pick a NFL player, you can do that as well.
Okay. Listen at my take. Garrett Wilson from the Jets.
Interesting. Okay.
He's the kind of receiver who instantly changes a quarterback's life.
I like it. Okay.
Chris Routes, elite separation, fearless, over the middle, and he still has room to grow.
I like it.
If you made a weapon like that from day one, it would accelerate his development. Come on, somebody. And his confidence. Garrett Wilson.
I love it. Okay. I like that answer. And then here's the next one that's been tripping up people because we either get 3 words, like independent words, or we're getting a sentence of a 3-word sentence. And you can just imagine what people say in a 3-word sentence. So how would you describe the fan base for the New England Patriots?
Ooh, that's a great one. I'm going to say loyal, impatient, proud. I say,
you know what? I would actually agree with every single word. I think the impatient one with the proud plays really well. That's really good.
So I say that because we've tasted greatness. We expect excellence, even in the rebuild.
Right. Everything has to be perfect.
Hasn't changed, and that's what makes this fan base, the New England Patriot fan base, so special. Loyal, impatient, proud.
I feel like you could. That's a good one. That impatient one, I like it, and I think too. I'm like that as a Steelers fan, right? I know what it's supposed to be. I know what's going on, and I'm like, bruh.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
But you gotta understand, we live in a microwave society. We always, there's nothing we do that we don't want right now.
True.
Think about the food that we eat. You order it, you want it now. I'm going to use myself as an example. I have a number of things that I need oftentimes, and I just hate waiting on it. So if I can't get it the same day or next day from Amazon, I try to find it at a nearby store because I want it right now. I don't want to wait.
I know, that's right. And I will, the way that I do Amazon, like, it should be a crime, honestly. The way that I'm like, I need it today.
Spending all your money, huh?
Yeah. Do I need it today? Absolutely not. But I 100% need it right now. So I don't understand why it's not available. Yeah. Why is it not available from 2 to 6 delivery?
Yeah. I tell myself I need it today. I got to have it today.
Why would I wait till tomorrow when I need it today? I don't understand. I mean, am I going to use it today? No. Am I going anywhere? No. But I need it right now. So I don't know what the problem is. So
here's the thing. I might not be using it for the next 6 months, but I'm still going to need it today.
I need it right now. I don't want to have to think about it. I need it ASAP.
I need it right now. Yep.
Anyways, well, those were all the questions I have for you. At the end, I like to open it up to my guests to say whatever they want. Ask me. No one's really asked me. I have gotten a question or two. But this is your time. How do you want you get to close this out? Well, unless you ask me a question, obviously. But you get to close this out. Let people know where they can find you, what you want people to know, or just anything that I maybe didn't ask you about the Patriots that you were like, I need to say this. I'm going to say this.
Nah, I think with all the questions you asked, they were questions that needed to be asked. I'm glad you asked them, and I'm glad I was able to answer them because I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to get on his good program, and I don't want to. I kind of look like, I did television for a number of years, and it's one of the things that I loved about it is the preparation time, and sometimes I can get in front of a camera and I can turn on like a light and, it goes live because I've done live television. I've done telethons before. I've done events where, you got people coming in and out. It's a lot of production stuff going on and you have to be able to ad lib as you go. And so I'm always nervous though, because I've been quite a few years removed from television. So I'm always nervous now because this is my first podcast that I've been a part of in probably 5 years, maybe.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, I will be honest. I was like, okay, I need to find a Patriots fan because last year, like my Patriots fan, he was lovely, but we literally, like a friend of mine, like put out a post on Facebook and he went in a Facebook group. I mean, we were searching because we couldn't find one. So then when I messaged you during the season, I was like, oh, I don't know if he's going to do this, and I won't pressure him today. But when it's time, I'm going to say, listen, okay, I know this might be, whatever. I mean, you said yes, and it really wasn't like all dramatic as I was playing in my head. But yeah, I just appreciate you for just trusting me and coming on and chatting with me, because that's the other thing. Like, I don't think people realize how much I love football unless you're paying attention to the fact that I love football. Like I'm watching all these teams. Like I'm watching everything. I want to research it. I want to put out good content. Like I love football. And so I'm like, so I appreciate you coming and talking to me. So.
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And I thoroughly enjoy having natural conversations with people. So sometimes my friends and family say, man, you just love talking to people. I do. I love talking to people. I think the older I get, the more recluse I've become from people. And so, it's like, okay, it's time to really start back engaging with people, because I think it's a natural thing that we need as humans. We need to engage with people in a variety of ways. And so, just talking to people, and when you have things in common with people, it makes it even easier to have great conversations. I had a 2-hour conversation with an old friend of mine earlier this morning who called me, who I hadn't spoke to in probably a month or so now. But
love those. I love those phone calls.
So
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you. And then if I'll say if, because we're being realistic here. If the Patriots make the playoffs, we'll probably follow up and have another conversation. Although somebody gave me an idea that was like, before the season, like have everybody do like come back on, do like a 5-minute whatever, and just be like, what are the updates? What do you want us to know? The season's about to start. Have you changed? Just like have it be like a cute kind of like quick follow up. Okay, but anyways, we'll see what happens. But we'll be.
I do have a question for you.
Oh, go for it.
And it probably has nothing to do with football in a sense, but it's more so about your channel and how you came to grow it into what it's becoming now. Because I kind of envision it. And I don't know if you have children, and I've never asked you anything about that, but it's like a child in a sense, where you've had to nourish it, you've had to feed it, and you had to care for it in such a vital way in order for it to grow and become what you envision. So my question to you is, when you first got the idea, the concept to go on camera and talk to a bunch of strangers, did you envision it becoming a childlike project that you would have to consistently nurture, grow, and feed resources, your money, all kinds of things that go into growing a channel, and it become what it is now because it's thriving now and it's just going to grow even bigger?
That's so nice of you to say. So when I started, no. So my whole point on starting was just I had things to say, and I felt like people like me, meaning like I've never played football. I'm a woman, but I know a ton of football, and I always have. I just didn't have anywhere to go with it. And even people that are like in my life that are like my friends are like, can we stop talking about the right side of the offensive line? Like, why do you keep, and that's because that's who I am. And then I'm one of those people that I'm terrible at remembering names, but I'll never forget a face and I'll never forget a jersey number. And so what I started to realize when I was making videos is I was like, this is kind of fun. And I just started off being short. So I was just going to state my quick opinion and leave. And then I kind of started liking it because I could get things off my chest. And I think for me, what has started to happen is I've been able to structure it in a way where I can get the things I want off my chest and I can label them, and then I can organize them and I can release them what I want, and I can get ready and I can plan, and I have a PhD. So it's like mini dissertations every time.
You have a
and
PhD?
I love that. I do.
Oh, wow.
I love I
In
like
what?
the learning, adult community and professional education.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I like the learning and I like the
Mm.
process. I'm one of those few people that likes the process. I like the researching, and then I like to present it out because that's how I was actually just trained. Like that's what you
Right.
do. So
Right.
for me, it's like mirroring who I am personally and what I really love to do. And so I think my YouTube channel feels like a labor of love of just, yeah, I want to talk about that. Or I don't chase the news per se. Like
Mm.
I don't chase all the, because I could always make videos about anything going on if I want to, but I chase the football, like I don't
Yeah.
care who's dating who. I don't care who's married. I don't care who's divorced. I don't care. I don't care. What are you doing on the field? Who's in that locker room?
Right.
What's the play call? Why can't you manage a clock? How come you guys can't tackle? Like I want that. And a lot of people don't give that. They go in the drama. I don't care about that. Let's talk about the football because the football sometimes isn't great. So yeah. So did I know? No. But have I developed a love for it like a child is a good way to put it? Yeah, because I've had to kind of grow it and cultivate it. And I needed people to take me seriously. And now people take me seriously. Like nobody knows this. This is the first time I'm going to say this publicly. When I release a video and somebody in my comment section says, I've been waiting to see what you think about this.
Wow.
Nothing's better. Absolutely. I don't care if somebody's like, you're so pretty. You speak so well. I don't care about any of that. When somebody says you should be on ESPN, I love how you break this down. I've been waiting for your opinion. That nothing beats it. Yeah. Absolutely nothing beats it. Hands down. So
I can see that. I can see that. So where do you see this channel and I would say your voice in this space in the next 3 to 4 years?
That's a really good question. That in February, I did a February challenge where I was just like doing videos and I didn't know where I was going with my channel, but through the February challenge, because I wasn't editing, I figured out my voice and I figured out what I liked. And so now I transition. I'm like, I'm doing football. This is how I'm going to do it. And it's very structured. Last night I got a thought and I was like, man, I want to do these conversations live one day. That would be fantastic. If I could like go somewhere, like, like they're doing the pivot, right? They started one way and now they go places. Or if I could do this, like, because I try to plan it strategically when it's in the off season. So everyone's kind of excited, but whatever. Right. And it's summer, everybody has a little bit of free time. I just think it would be cool to like make those relationships in person. And so I don't know what that means. And I kind of like that I don't know because I'm still grinding for it. Whatever it is will come to me. But right now I'm just having fun talking football, bringing people into my space, talking to people, then people inviting me to their space. You know what I mean? It's just like this whole cool thing where I'm like, no, I have something to say.
Yeah. I've seen that here. I don't know how recent it was because, sometimes with the algorithm, you don't really see all the videos that you probably saw previously. There's some people I don't see their stuff at all, and I have to check and see, am I still following there? Am I still subscribed to the YouTube? Because I don't see no videos in my feed. But I saw that you do a show now with Coach, what's his name?
Coach Hayes.
Coach Hayes
in the street every Monday.
Yeah. And so how did that come about for you?
They invited, they just invited me in. I mean, and they're really heavy in college football. And so the other thing I learned about YouTube is that college football and NFL fans are totally different. The game is obviously different, but I didn't realize how different they are. I love NFL and I watch college, and they love college and they watch NFL. So it's a cool like inverse of each other where it's like we can all talk about the same things, but then sometimes NFL things happen and I'm like, no, let me tell you about this thing. Let me tell you. So that's how that started. And like I said, they asked and I was like, sure. So, and that's what I want to do. And I try very hard to just do things that make sense, not to just do things, but not everyone. Most people have been really lovely to me, like being a woman in the space. And some people I trigger, and some people are like, how dare you? And some people are like, go into the kitchen and make me dinner. And I'm like, I already made dinner and now I'm making videos, but whatever. So what do I know? But so that's how that got started.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I love, I'm working on 2 documentaries. One is about, fatherless homes. 60% of Black men and women grow up in a home without fathers. And so we're working on a documentary to kind of chart that course. And then I'm also working on one about the homeless. When I first moved to LA, 13 years ago, I was homeless. And so, you know, it was something that's always been near and dear to my heart, because I know how I got homeless was going through a divorce, and losing everything. And when I look at all the men and women around this street, I think at that time, because we did I joined with a bunch of celebrities, and we did a PSA for homelessness back in 2013, I think is when that was. And so as I was walking around Los Angeles the other day, well, a couple weeks ago now, I noticed a bunch of homeless people, and I said, you know what? Nobody's really talking about them operating in a state of being forgotten, not just forgotten in the sense of, oh, they don't exist anymore, but they forgotten how to live. They forgotten life, and life in some regards has forgotten them. And so I called up a couple of my production team, and I was like, we got to work on this. And it was like, oh, that's a great idea. So those are two projects that are dear. And so when I think about that, I always think about the journey of a person. You know, how does a person go from one place to the next? And so that's why I was interested in your journey. Is how did you go from wherever you came from to where you are now?
Just having an idea to, and I mean, you've sent me just motivational things, just keep going and you're fine. You're just keep being you. And I think those things help, because I always tell people, the people who are close to me have a certain expectation for me, because I am who I am, right? Like they're like, oh, she's gonna be successful at whatever she does. Like they don't see the hard work and all, because that's just expected of me. They've always seen it. So when people that don't know me are kind of like, no, keep going, it's different. It hits different, because I'm like, this person doesn't even know me, and they can see something in me, and that keeps you going. That's why I said, when people are like, I was waiting for your video, I'm like, thank you. This is for you then, I
appreciate that, man.
This is for you. This video is just for you. So anyways, well, I'll end this. I know I always say, sometimes when I do these, I always feel like I'm bothering people and pestering them to come on. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I'm realizing that's probably an insecurity of me, and I need to let it go, because people are lovely. You've been lovely. Everybody that I've asked has been absolutely lovely. Even the no's I've gotten, I'm okay with it. Everyone's not going to say yes. And so I just want to thank you again for trusting me, coming on, talking about your team, and knowing that I would be nice to them.
Even if you wasn't. I mean, that's what life is all about. I
said that facetiously. Come on. Look.
But yeah, you definitely need to get rid of that immediately. It's not going to serve you well in this space. It's not going to serve you well in life, period. Let me correct it. It hasn't served you well, so it won't continue to serve you at all. So you have to get rid of that. And I always caution people this. It's not even just you get rid of it, because you can't get rid of something until you get to the root of why it exists in the first place. So that's where you have to start, is why. And I can identify with that, because I'm gonna give you an example. I feel I can go out and buy other people's stuff all day long, and I do, without question, no form of guilt. The moment I buy something for myself, I feel like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have done that. Or I say, you got to find why that exists, and you got to kill it. You got to
that's true.
Pull out the oxygen tank, anything you got to do, because that exists, and that's a detriment to you. It's not an.
You are 100% right, and you're 100% right. Yep. And I like it. I like that I've identified it, first of all, because at first I was like, what is my issue? And I'm like, girl, you're the issue, but so I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I'm not here to disagree with you. And so that's something I've been working on, I'm working through, and I'm like, you have a channel, you love your channel, you love what you're doing, invite people in. And if they say no, they say no. Don't worry about what you're worried about. Just do it. And so that's what I'm doing. So you're on the front end of that. And thank you for telling me to keep going. And listen, next time I'm going to ask you again. So there.
I'm going to tell you something somebody told me many years ago, probably back in 2008. I was on tour with Hill Harper. We did this world tour. And thing I want to tell you now, just about your statement now about asking people and they're saying no. The people that start with you won't finish with you.
Right.
And the people that finish you won't necessarily start with you. But at the end of the day, you got to go along the journey. So don't worry about that. And I remember Hill he taught me a lot of lessons during our time on the road. But one in particular was, he said, you have to surround yourself with people who have the same identity that you have for yourself. They want to see you win so bad that it's never going to be about what they want. It's always going to be about what you need. And that's what you want to do.
I'm ending with that. Thank you.
Yeah.